Building a computer gets a pretty bad rap in my opinion. It's not exclusive to certain demographics, like people who are willing to spend $800 on a computer so they can play expensive games. Don't look at me! Sure, if you want a laptop for portability, you are better off looking at a guide to buying laptops, but building a computer, however, is almost always going to be cheaper than buying a pre-built one unless you snag some good deals. So if you already planned on getting a tower PC, I recommend this for anyone. This guide is going to cover how to pick components and where to buy them from. Building a computer takes a longer video than 3 minutes. I'll go part by part and there will not be a quiz, so don't worry. The most important thing is your price range. This is an investment, so consider it as such. If you do want to play expensive games or want a machine that's good for rendering, 3D modeling, or general design, and if you have cash to spend on it and don't want to think about upgrading, then consider aiming high. $1,500 to $2,000 is a solid, albeit expensive, price range for that sort of thing, but that means you don't need to worry about upgrading for a good long time. Picking components comes down to a combination of brand loyalty and discounts. There are so many brands selling the exact same products with slightly different labels that, at the end of the day, if you get a good deal on some highly pure-rated hardware, then you probably didn't need to think too hard about from where it was you got it. Still, a couple considerations. Solid-state drives make everything faster. Booting, logging in, saving and writing files, pulling up files, rendering, playing games, etc. They are also more expensive. A good rule of thumb is to have a small solid-state be the device you load the OS on, Windows or Linux, and a large hard drive for bulk storage depending on your use. RAM isn't as godlike as some people want to think, but more will almost never hurt. I personally don't know what the heck DDR3 or DDR4 mean, but DDR4 is more expensive and higher quality, so if you can afford it, then go for it. Just make sure your motherboard is compatible with the kind first. NVIDIA and AMD produce most of the graphic cards on the market, and you can find benchmarks anywhere comparing their specs. That one is mainly brand loyalty. I've used both and found them both to be satisfactory for what I needed. Speaking of which... my PC clocked in at $800, and that was 2 years ago. I still run most modern games or modeling and design programs just fine. For general purpose, you could easily go way lower. $500 or $600, no problem, while still having a quick PC because you've got a solid-state drive and a motherboard capable of handling high-quality RAM. And on that note... this is a short segment because it deserves mentioning. Be careful with components. When you install anything with exposed circuitry, it's highly recommended that you wear latex or your non-allergenic equivalent gloves. Oils from your skin can damage components if you aren't gentle and precise with them, but gloves in general eliminate that risk completely. For the purposes of buying a computer, it's really convenient to do it online because you have a good catalog of many resources to purchase from, and they generally have a lot of good deals. My go-to is Newegg.com, but there's also Outlet PC and good old Amazon. As for picking everything, I can only recommend... PC Part Picker is a godsend for gaming, rendering, and general purpose builds. Not only are there a lot of builds pre-made by users for various purposes, but they also have a lot of build guides that are applicable to most situations. I highly recommend them, even if the information dump when you search for parts can be overwhelming. In those cases, I recommend you look at a guide or ask people on forums, but just don't be dumb. Okay, bye.